And here we are at the W Melbourne. We started the trip in Perth at the Westin and Ritz-Carlton Perth. We were just at the Ritz-Carlton here in Melbourne, and now we're at the W. This is one of the properties in the whole world that has been one of the top ones on my list. I'm so excited to finally check in and show you this incredible, most modern, one of the newest hotels here in Melbourne. Let's go. All right, here we are entering the hallways. I have to say they're a little dark, but I do appreciate the lights next to every door as well as the cool lights here. But the hallways don't feel luxurious. They're very dark, but I am still glad they at least have the cool lighting. We did not get an upgrade here. We did just get the standard room with the 2 beds. They said that no upgrades were available. However, I'm very suspicious, but I still want to show it to you just because even the basic rooms here are still just tremendous and extremely beautiful. All right, now when we first enter here, as you can see, it's actually kind of a darker room with some really cool lighting. We do have this big, huge sliding door here that actually closes to give you privacy in the bathroom. But I want to show you the bathroom first, as it's one of the most unique bathrooms I've ever seen in my life. All right, so the bathroom itself, we have this really cool red circle thing right in the middle of the room, which is a cabinet on the other side. And then in here, we actually have this sink. Now, I will be honest, there is only the 1 sink, but this is a really cool design, how you kind of have the mirrors here with the light. It is dark though, everything is very like black color. So even though you have this lit here, there's not a lot of light coming in the room, so it can be a little dim for getting ready. But again, only 1 sink and a little bit of counter space. So most luxury hotels, everyone that we've been on this trip, except for this one, has had at least 2 sinks. So this one does just have the 1 in the standard rooms. The suites might have 2, but just keep that in mind. But it is cool how this is a perfect circle here in the middle of the room. This side, of course, is the sink, and the other side is all storage units. The bathroom, it does close off for privacy. A lot of W's don't, but this one does have solid doors that close completely on this side, as well as right here in the front that completely go all the way across to close off here. So we have a separate toilet room compared to the shower. So the toilet area is in here. It is private. I like that it's an automatic toilet, how it opens. And then it also has the control panel for a lot of different options. And then in here, we not only have a tub, but we also have the rainfall shower, which is great, along with the W soaps that they're known for. Really interesting design, but there is no view from this tub. It is a little bit dark in there. We do have 2 robes in the room. We have the 1 robe here, and then we have the other robe in the closet. Now looking at this robe, I like that it says the W here, but as you can see, it's a very thin robe and it's actually very coarse. It's not super plush and soft, so I do not approve of the robes, but I'm at least glad that they have those in the room. Now follow me around because I'm going to take you in the room through this way. This whole area kind of circles around here, which is just a really, really unique design. And now here we are coming in to the room itself. As you can see, we do have the 2 beds, and then we have this just very nice kind of carpeting in here. Again, it is darker walls, but 2 very plush beds. And right away, my eye goes right up here to this really unique art piece, how it's kind of the wall is opening up. I've never seen that at any other property I've ever stayed at in my life. So that is just one of the coolest pieces. Now, I also like these lights next to the bed. They are just very small lights. They don't put out a lot of light. And then the headboard here above the bed, it's nice that it's not just a flat wall, it's material, but I feel like they could have done something a little bit more with it. It just feels like it could be better. But anyway, the 2 double beds here, we do have the ottomans in front of the beds, which is a nice touch for luxury hotels. And then we have the big TV right here in the middle. However, around the TV, it is basically this kind of wallpaper-like substance, but this wallpaper goes from the complete entrance of the room all the way down. So I consider this a wall. So to me, that's not very luxurious. The other thing to note is, while this is a luxury property, they do not have automatic blinds. You do have to manually open and close these. So that's something that I don't like. At luxury properties, they should all have automatic closing blinds. But otherwise, I absolutely love this kind of sitting area over here. We've got the 2 chairs with these really colorful pillows. I love that. Now, if you're looking at the pictures of this room online, you're going to notice that all the beds have these beautiful, thick, really colorful blankets that go right on over the beds. I asked housekeeping about those because they weren't in our room, and she said they don't have those. So do keep that in mind, but I feel like if they had that beautiful touch in the room, it would just make it so much more inspiring, so much more amazing. So I am disappointed that those are not here. It's still a very nice room, but I'm not sure if it can still get a 5 out of 5 just without those, and just now noticing that there are a lot of the flat walls. Now over here, I do want to show you the mini bar. This is one of the most unique mini bars I've ever seen. I love how this lights up top here. Just wonderful. You've got all these different selections, and then down below here, this actually opens up. And we've actually got a whole bunch of drinks for purchase, and then some snacks for purchase. And then on this side, we actually have the dishes and the cups as well. Now the views here are not that great compared to the Ritz-Carlton Melbourne. They do not even compare. We're only on the 9th floor compared to being on the 75th floor there. So we're just looking at construction here in another building. We at least still have a view, though. It's just nothing compared to the Ritz-Carlton Melbourne, which is just insanely wow view. But I'm still happy we have floor to ceiling windows. That's a big plus. And then the architecture of this building is just absolutely fantastic. It's a beautiful, this building design. So that is very inspiring. Great. Now here's this unique piece in the middle. It kind of represents a female kind of design, which is just really edgy, unique W style. But I just love this orange color. It ties in with the theme of the room, the other orange colors, from the night at the light stand to the pillows over there to the really cool wall thing. But this actually completely opens, giving you your closet space. I couldn't find the closet in the beginning, and then I figured it out. But very nice. And then down below here, they do have slippers in the room, which are great. So we're going to take a quick look at these guys. Awesome. So I'm looking at the slippers. These are very plush. They're very thick here. I do approve. These are Joshua-proof slippers. They're very soft, very comfortable. That's a very nice touch that they're already in the room there for us. And then the safe is actually in a really unique place here. It's actually connected not in the closet, but it's actually down here in this ottoman. You basically pull this out here and you have the safe. So I've never seen that before. And then the property also does have an ironing board and iron, which is located right on over here in this compartment. So a lot of really cool hidden compartments. It's just so unique design. It's very inspiring, but very cool. So overall, I have been really wanting to come to this hotel for so long. Even before the Ritz-Carlton opened, before I even knew about the Ritz-Carlton, I knew about this W opening, and I had been wanting to come here. So far, it has been very good. However, we'll see how the rest of the experience is. The room from the pictures looked absolutely amazing. I am a little bit disappointed that they are missing a few things with the walls itself. It's still a nice hotel, but it's just, I guess, not everything I was expecting. But I'm excited to check out the rest of the property because it has some really unique and amazing food and beverage outlets, as well as one of the best pools, I think, in the whole world. And I can't wait to show it all to you. Let's go. Welcome to the W Melbourne, the second W hotel to open in Australia. It opened in February of 2021, so compared to most hotels in the city, it is very new. Now, it's not as new as the Ritz-Carlton, which I also stayed at. Definitely watch that review. That hotel is the highest hotel in Australia, so very different experience, but this one is also modern, brand new, and one of the coolestly designed W hotels in the world. Now, it actually shares the building with the iconic Collins Arch, so that's the main building, and then the hotel is located on the bottom floors of it. I wish it was definitely located in the higher floors. You'd have a better view, but that's just what they decided to do, but it's still a cool looking building. Now, that's the arrival area. When you pull up, they actually have this really cool illuminated sign, and from one side it looks like an M for Melbourne, and the other side, as you're driving, it turns into a W for the W hotel. So it's one of the coolest arrival areas, just that sign and how that works. Now, here's the check-in experience. Overall, it just wasn't that special, wasn't that exciting, as I mentioned. The lobby also is just a little bit cramped, but they do also have a concierge desk. That represents all kind of like graffiti on the wall, and then when you turn on the other side of the wall, it's just a plain like brown wall. So it kind of is like Melbourne's kind of art, how they kind of show the different arts in Melbourne, because I think there's a lot of like graffiti on the street, but like nice art. So they kind of showcase that. Now, all those lights in the hallway actually represent like subway kind of lights. So that's also incorporating like Melbourne into the rooms. The W Melbourne has 294 guest rooms, including 29 suites. Now, a couple days before we checked in, I saw in the app that we had been upgraded to a suite. So I was very excited. But when we checked in, they said that there were no suites available, even though it showed they were all available on the website. I could literally book them all. So the service was just kind of, I feel like they could have at least given us like a basic suite, but they just settled with the standard room. The rooms themselves are decent. They are Definitely not super luxurious just because they have several flat walls and then they don't have those really fluffy things on the beds, but they're still very comfortable. The service here was good, not excellent, but the best part definitely was the concierge. They actually sent these special amenity to our room, as well as just some extra vouchers for like drinks and things, which is just really special. Now, the property does have several restaurants on property. Here's the paper kind of showcasing all the different amenities and restaurants they have. The first one is the Lollo restaurant, and this is the main restaurant on property that serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner most days. Lollo is also where they have the breakfast buffet, also for elite members. So for elite members, I believe you get 2 items on the main menu, and then you can just take as many things from the buffet. It's a very good breakfast, not the biggest spread I've ever seen, but service was excellent, and the items that we did order were very tasty. I started with getting fruit and some little pastries from the buffet, and then we ordered eggs Benedict, as well as just like eggs with hash browns, and it was both very good, really tasty options. But the restaurant definitely could use a little bit better decor and lighting. The lighting is just very basic. The chairs are very basic. It just doesn't really live up to W standards. Now, Culprit is another dining area open from sunrise to sunset. It's a little bit more casual, but they do have light bites as well as drinks and coffees, but it's just a great spot to kind of grab something quick. Now, Warabi is the fancy fine dining restaurant. This one is pretty expensive, but it's authentic Japanese. And then finally, Curious is probably their most famous and coolest designed restaurant. This thing is impressive with the wood paneling, the ceiling. That is W style. That is high on inspiration. I wish the main restaurant somewhat resembled something this cool, but we did get some little dinner sliders there and it was excellent. Now, here's the indoor pool. This is what they advertise, like the main photo for the hotel on the website is the pool area, just because it really is a really spectacular city pool. It's very nice. The only problem I had was there was no service, hardly. Even by the check-in area, there was no one like to help you find a seat. Very rarely did I ever see an employee anywhere staffed here, which was very disappointing. There was just a lot of towels, chairs, things not picked up around the area, which was a little disappointing. But the lighting in here is just gorgeous, kind of the lights around the stairs, the different areas to sit down, and then during the day you can actually order some items from the kind of bar there and eat them. This definitely is a great spot to hang out. They just definitely need to improve the cleanliness and service. As you can see, I was in the area of my only night and there was just kind of trash and tables not picked up at all, and no one cleaned them up for hours. Next to the pool is locker areas. They do have a steam room in the locker areas as well as a shower and kind of the lockers, of course. But here's the steam room. There was no sauna that I found, but at least that they had a steam room, and that's included for all guests to use, which is nice. And then kind of you can actually go outside on a terrace just from like the pool area. It has great views of downtown Melbourne. Like this view is even better than like the one from our room. The property finally has a fitness center. The fitness center was great because it did offer great views. Definitely not skyline views, but it was still cool, the floor to ceiling windows. Okay, now for the rating of the W Hill here in Melbourne. Now going into this rating was a little hard for me just because I came into this property really wanting to give it a perfect score, and I thought for sure it was going to get it. It is not, and I'll go over that in a minute, but I want to start with the room. Room is going to get a 5 out of 5. It was very nice, clean, spacious, especially for just having a basic room with no upgrade. They're still very nice. Next up is going to be inspiration. Inspiration, I am going to give a 5 out of 5. However, there are areas for improvement. One of them being this hotel only occupies the lowest floors of this new Collins Arch building, so only up to about floor 14. So the views, as you can see, are just not that amazing. If it had better views as well, I don't like the huge just flat wall on the whole side of the room. I wish that they had like some like cool orange horizontal lights in there, or just they could have done something with paneling or something like that, because the rest of the room is just great except for just that one huge flat wall. Other things are just the hallways are just very, very basic here. They also don't have any cool like blanket or thing to put on the beds. All that would just make it even more amazing for inspiration. I'm still giving it a 5 out of 5 on inspiration though, mostly because of the pool. One of the best city pools I've ever seen in my life, as well as the underground bar area. That is just spectacular, one of the coolest restaurants I've ever been to. And then just the uniqueness of the room, like the colors, this cool orange accent piece in the wall, the chair pillows, this really cool mini bar, the floor to ceiling windows. So there's still enough here to get a 5 out of 5 with inspiration, but it definitely could be better. Next up is going to be service. Service, I am going to give a 4.5 out of 5, and that is mostly because, well, I want to start with the positives. The concierge team here is just phenomenal. Maddie and Jackson, I wish every employee were like them. They are just spectacular, as well as one of the head ladies and some of the people in the restaurant for breakfast. Everyone was friendly, and last night Naomi, one of the head managers there, is just amazing. However, the front desk team definitely has room for improvement. Check-in was good, but it was nothing like the Ritz-Carlton Perth or Melbourne that we were just at, as well as just kind of the other staff we've encountered from housekeeping, just occasionally during the stay, they've been just the basic standards of service, but nothing over the top, nothing to just make me say, wow, that was the best service I've ever had in my whole life. So that's why a little bit lower score in there. And then finally, value, would I return and how likely am I to recommend it? That I'm also going to give a 4.5 out of 5. And that's just because there are just too many things that I wish were improved. Another thing being like the main restaurant here, it's nice, but I wish it had a lot more like cool lighting and seats and things, kind of like the W Osaka. It's just kind of like the interior decorations are just kind of very generic, as well as they definitely need better robes. These ones are kind of very thin. They need, I think, definitely more softer ones. They also don't have automatic blinds here for a luxury hotel. So, and then also the lobby is actually really kind of awkward. There's like no really hardly seating areas. It's very kind of cramped and small. And when we first arrived, it was just kind of, it just didn't feel very welcoming. You know, sometimes you have to wait for a staff member and no one really checks in on you. I saw other guests trying to get help. Sometimes they just had to stand there and wait. At other properties that have perfect score on service, someone will come up to them while they're waiting and try to see if they can help them or just make them feel special. Now for the pricing, the prices here are going to be about $250 to $350 per night. So compared to like the Ritz-Carlton Melbourne, it's going to be about half the price, if not less. So I'd say that's great. Now for the points, it is going to be about 45 to 75,000 points per night. So I would say anytime this property is above like 50,000 points, it's not a good redemption value. I would recommend just paying cash to stay at this property just because the points are so high compared to what you actually get here. I would actually recommend redeeming your points and staying at the Ritz-Carlton Melbourne. Overall, the service there, the experience as a whole was just a whole nother level of high. However, I still love this hotel and it's still a very good score, and I would like to come back in the future and maybe check out a suite and see how it is. But this property also is in a very, very good location here. But overall, really happy I stayed here at the W, still one of the best W's in the world that I've been to. And I'm so excited. This concludes our whole trip here in Australia, 4 hotels and 5 nights. Be sure to subscribe because you won't want to miss my next incredible journey.